Howdy, y'all. Hope you guys are having a good day so far. Good night, good evening, whenever you choose to be watching this. So I want to go into another quick video and discuss sort of my journey as like a singer in theater, because it's a little awkward. So starting off, so there are different vocal parts, right? Soprano, alto, tenor, bass, mezzo, baritone, all those different vocal parts, right? Not in that order, let me make that clear. But they're different vocal parts, right? Sopranos sing really, really high, basses sing really, really low. It basically just covers the piano, put it that way, right? On an 88 key piano, those vocal parts can sing different sections of those pianos better than others. I mean, there's basses 1 and 2, soprano 1, 2, tenor 1 and 2. Like, it gets really, really specific, but not the point. The point is, I was a late bloomer in terms of my voice dropping. So like in like 7th, 8th grade, I was still like a hard tenor or like a hard alto soprano. I had a very, very high voice. And then right as sort of I got into high school, bang, my voice dropped really, really deep. You know, you can hear it a little bit right now. It's deeper than most people in terms of vocal range, and this is just me talking normally, right? I'm not, no filter, no talking higher, no talking lower. This is just my typical normal voice whenever I'm having a conversation with people. And you know, the thing with that is 7th, 8th grade, that's when, like I said, I was in Willy Wonka. If you guys remember from the last couple videos, I mentioned I was in Willy Wonka at the same time as Bye Bye Birdie. I also did a show called James and the Giant Peach the next year, Willy Wonka and James and the Giant Peach being with the outside of school production. Honestly, I forgot what I did for the in-school production after Bye Bye Birdie. Oh, no, because I was no longer at that school anymore. Well, I was in high school. So going into 9th grade, I was my first show was Cinderella. I was in the ensemble for that. But for my other production, other group, I was the lead, or one of the leads. I was not like one of the main insects in James and the Giant Peach. I was Lord, who was like the narrator guy. He was like a baritone. And then in Willy Wonka, I was the lead. That was a year before, so my voice was still high, but it started to get low at times. So the problem was, at Willy Wonka, my voice could not hit the high notes consistently because my voice began to lower. Well, the problem with that is, like, I didn't end up singing the Willy Wonka songs as much. In fact, Pure Imagination, you know, the staple of Willy Wonka, was sung off stage by someone else, and I danced. Now, let me make very, very clear, I am not a dancer by any means. I'm not. I'm just not. That is just not my skill. But you know, I did it. It was not fun, but I did it while someone sang off stage during that song. Well, then the next year, it's like, okay, well, let's give him another chance. So my director gave me the Lord role. Like I said, basically the narrator role. Now, Lord, it sounds like a weird name, right? Well, James and the Giant Peach, written by someone named Ronald Daw. It's an anagram for his name, Lord Ronald Daw. So, you know, whatever. But point is, he was a baritone, and my voice was really, at the time, the only one low enough in that class of people to sing the notes. Well, the problem was, my voice was low enough, but now it wasn't high enough anymore, because there were some notes that I couldn't hit, but we couldn't drop the whole song an octave, because that would be too low. Well, so I tried, and then about, you know, a little bit into the rehearsals, my director was like, never mind, we're not going to have you do it anymore, and she ended up giving it to someone else. Now, let me be clear, I don't have any bad blood against this director. I did not have the vocal range to do it at the time, so I lost both those parts, and I ended up going back to, like, featured ensemble roles. It's whatever, right? She did her best to make up for it. I still wish I got to do the Lord role, but it's okay. She made up with it, because by the next show we did Tuck Everlasting, and I was the lead role. I was one of the leads. I was one of the Tucks. I was Miles Tuck. Which, you know, I actually, the CD for that musical, I just grabbed it. It's right next to me. I've still, to this day, not watched it. Can't do it. I just can't. I don't know why. I can't. I don't know. Because I think I sounded like crap when I sang in this. You know, I mean, I got major applause, you know, standing O's, and some great appreciation. I mean, I brought people to tears with some of the songs, with the song that I sang in this, and I still can't bring it to myself to watch this. Let me make this very clear. This was probably 5 years ago. I can't watch it. I can't. I don't know. I guess I could be too scared. I don't know. Social anxiety of myself. I don't know. Because, like, in the back of my head, I guess it's, like, me being naive. Like, I know that in the back of my head, maybe I sounded good. But the second I play that, I'm going to start hyperanalyzing everything. And it's going to sound terrible. So, anyways, not the point. Point is, my voice got really, really low. But it took some time before that happened. But after Tuck, then I got the dad in Little Mermaid the very next year. And you know, I was an ensemble for everything else, and it was funny because our musical director was like, hey, I want to do this bass 2 line in Kiss the Girl. You know, like the Shalala, Don't Be Scared, Kiss the Girl song, you know that thing? She wanted me to sing the bass 2 part, which is a D2 for any musicians out there. It's a D2 on a piano. That's a low note, and she's basically the whole song. It's just an undertone the whole time. She wanted me to sing it, so I ended up doing it, but me and one other person who was starting to become a bass at the time. It was super fun. You know, at the time I was with a vocal coach, goated guy, best guy ever. And he taught me to really utilize my lower register while also maximizing my higher register. I'm proud to say that in one of those rehearsals, I got myself to the last note on a piano. Still hold that to pride to this day. That's an A0. That's the lowest note on piano. And he said I probably could have done a couple more notes after that, but he didn't have a piano long enough. It had to be like an organ or something. I still take pride in that. But point is, I mean, then there's also subharmonics, which is just a whole other story of things, which maybe I'll get into another day. But point is, you know, being a bass, you know, it definitely had its perks when my voice finally settled in, because I got to do a lot of fun stuff. Let me tell you the bad parts about being a bass, especially in theater. All of the roles are for like tenors, and like the bad guys per se in shows are like baritones. There are barely any basses in musicals. Hades is obviously a bass. And then there's one show, and I've said this before, if my college were to ever do it, I would drop esports for a semester and I would do this show. Simply put, Hunchback of Notre Dame. I would do it. Frollo, probably dream role for me. I'd do it. I'd drop it to play that role. Hellfire, I'd love to sing it. I really would. I would love to sing Hellfire. Even drop it an octave or its original key. That song is so good. I would love to do it. But, you know, I've never had that opportunity, but, you know, maybe one day I will. Maybe I'll do it when I'm older. I don't know, like for fun. My friend actually does theater for fun outside of, you know, in his professional life as well. So, you know, we have some good experiences, but, you know, I figured you guys might enjoy that little insight about me. You know, 7th, 8th grade, my voice was so wobbly during puberty that, like, it never really settled out. It wasn't really until 10th grade, my sophomore year of high school, where my voice finally settled and I was able to actually, like, use it to its maximum potential, I guess is a good way to put it. Oh, look, there's Scratch. And I got to, you know, actually start to utilize being a bass, and it was super fun. I can't lie. It was really one of the most fun things I've ever done. But, you know, that's that. You know, something simple, something quick, something short that I figured you guys might enjoy about me, about knowing about me. You know, or maybe not, but, you know, if you made it this point, you know, thank you. I really do appreciate it. You know, content creation, it's sure, you have the ability to, you know, make it big overnight, but I'm not there to do that, right? I mean, I'm here to have a good time, send out vibes. You know, if I get likes, if I get subscriptions, great. But, you know, it was a comment, you know, like a week or so ago, and someone said, hey, you know, I got your channel randomly recommended to me. I just wanted to say, you know, I really think you're good, and I hope the best for you, you know, and that's the type of stuff I want, right? I want people to just be able to show up. It's like, hey, you know, I got no idea who you are, but I'm glad you're here. You know, it's cool to watch. You know, I care about that. You know, that means a lot to me. I'm not here to make it big. If that happens, great. But content creation is also, it's about dedication, not about the reward, right? Like, obviously, as the reward happens, right? The reward, it shouldn't be the reason you keep going, right? You should want to keep going because you're dedicated, because you have a good time doing it. And that's one of the biggest things for me is, you know, I do it because I enjoy it. Right? I do it because it's fun. So, you know, hopefully that you know, you guys enjoy this. You know, I think I've got to record one more after this, so you guys will get at least one more of these Ballergate content for the next video as well. Just another story rant. You know, just so that you guys have something for when I am on vacation. This is really the biggest challenge for me, is even when I was streaming or whatever, I would take breaks, or when I was making content, I would take breaks, and I wouldn't have content for when I was gone for periods of time. This is the biggest challenge for me, is actually having something to go out. They're all scheduled. I hope they go out. If not, I can log in because they are already all uploaded. I just need to press the go submit, go live, go whatever button, and it'll be good. But I did want to go ahead and let y'all know about that. But that being said, you know, thank you guys very much for being here. Hopefully you are enjoying this. And by the time I get back, the server that I got staff on may be released, so there might be a video on that soon. We'll go back to the hardcore world soon as well. I know that the house is the next thing we need to do there. So that being said, thank you all very much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.